What's going on, YouTube? Daniel Phoenix Solutions. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and I kind of wanted to explain myself. Activity for me really slowed down as we rolled into 4th of July holiday weekend. Leading up to that, I did a job doing various and sundry tasks, very basic tasks for a client of mine who had, for the purpose of which the work that I was doing, she was preparing to have a patio poured in her backyard. And so the state of that client and with regard to my activity with her is that she is currently in the process of working with the other company to get that pad poured and installed and cured so that I can get back out there for her to complete some of the other jobs that she was trying to take care of for her work. Now, coming out of that another job for another client, and that is to say that I was operating as a security officer for a fireworks stand through the friend of mine who owns and operates a security company. And that lasted for, about a week, roughly 5 days. And then coming out of that, I took a couple of days off because that was rather exhausting. And then sort of jumped back into picking the ball back up with Phoenix Solutions and generating activity again. What I found was that people coming out of the 4th of July weekend were real, let's say, lethargic. Activity did not pick up very quickly at all, having to do, I think, a lot with, sort of the post 4th of July hangover, and, since then, it's just been kind of a slow process of getting the ball rolling again. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen a whole lot of activity on the tail end of that. Now, that has provided me an opportunity to do some introspective observation as a business owner, because business ownership is a completely different game than having a job, being an employee for someone. It's a completely different game, and because it's such a completely different game, it requires a significantly different mindset. And I think as an experience that you have as an employee for a company, or let's take the concept down to a more basic level. As anyone pursuing any kind of work whatsoever, obviously the reason that we pursue work is so that we can generate an income so that we can support our lives. And experience teaches us that without a job, we don't make money. Or perhaps with a job, if we take too much time off, we reduce the amount of money that's coming in, and that can impact our ability to fund our lives. And I think as a general rule, as an employee, as an experience that employees have, is that they are taught by their experiences through life that in those moments of their life when they are taking too much time off, they're sick, or they're taking too many vacations or whatever, that the thing to do is to get busy again with trying to work. And that's very true. That's very true. But there's an underlying instinct therein that develops, which is a very interesting thing, because as a business owner, coming out of the employee world or the corporate world, let's say, and building and developing one's own business, you enter into these situations, especially in the infancy of your business, where you input a certain amount of energy and effort into building and developing your company, and then a certain amount of energy and input into going on the jobs that you ultimately generate for yourself through your efforts of building and developing your company. And it's very easy, or I should actually say it differently, as a result of that sort of employee feedback loop, where if you don't work, you don't make money, which impacts your ability to pay your bills, which influences you to be more consistent with work. It's the same sort of mental process occurs with business ownership, and there's definitely there's a case for how helpful that instinct is with business ownership. Obviously, like, you have to have an extreme work ethic to be a business owner, but it is an interesting thing, because that instinct can sabotage you at certain points, and what you end up experiencing, or at least how it looks, is that as a business owner, when you're building your business, you'll enter in a 2 or 3 day period of time, or however long stretch of time, where you're not actually out there doing the work that generates the money. And it is because of the nature of business ownership being that if you own your own business and you operate your own business, the activity that you put into the operation of your company and the building of your business is directly relative to a mass, let's say. That is to say, every time you successfully generate a lead, that lead is then available for possible future work and reference to other potential work. Therefore, the energy that you input into generating your business culminates over a broader spectrum of time. Whereas with, employeeship, the energy and effort that you invest into generating money is relative only to that paycheck. And that's obviously where the instinct to get out there and do work that generates money is linked to, which makes complete sense. But since the nature of business ownership is the energy and effort that you put out there is relative to generating a ball of activity, let's call it. It's an interesting problem that you'll, as a business owner, enter into these stretches of time where you're not doing anything to generate money, and your instinct tells you that you should be. And so I've been experiencing a lot of this sort of phenomena over the past few days, and I've been taking some time to explore those notions and explore the root of those instincts, so that I can better prepare myself for moments just like this, where there are these specific gaps of time in between jobs. Now, because of the nature of business ownership, the more of this that I do, the more talking to people that I do, the more actual work that I do, the more my ball actually builds, and the less and less of these gaps of time that I'll have in the long run. But it's important, I'm finding, and this I impart to you, it's important in the early game, when you find yourself in these gaps, not to allow that instinct to overpressure you. Which leads me to the next part of this, which is, because of the pressure that I've been experiencing from this instinct, I found myself in these weird little mental glitch moments, let's call them, where I felt that I should be doing something. So I went and I started pursuing activity that was adjacent to building revenue. And I allowed myself to convince myself that what I was doing was useful towards the end of generating revenue. But after dissecting the behavior, I came to the conclusion that it wasn't, and that I was simply allowing myself to feel that way, and that perhaps, what I was able to, initially determine is that, yes, in a very long spectrum of time available for this project that I'm working on, I can generate revenue. But the maturity spectrum of time, or the spectrum of time to maturity on this project, let's say that the spectrum of time to maturity on this project is so far in the future that it's almost a waste of time to be working on this project, because I need to be focused on activity that builds me closer to generating revenue now, so that I can support myself at the end of the month. And I had to stop after I observed this behavior of myself. I had to stop myself, and I had to reconfigure what my behavior was and what I was doing. And then, then it was a lot more clear what I should be doing. And so then I actually started working on other things again, and started generating activity that would lead towards more work. That being said, when you generate activity that leads towards work, the lesson that I just learned that I'm imparting here is that you have to understand that the nature of this type of income is completely different. So you cannot allow yourself to sabotage yourself mentally, because if you allow that instinct, you will allow yourself to distract yourself from what you should be doing. And that's the major takeaway from this sort of gap of time that I've experienced. So I wanted to just take a moment, first of all, to explain to you where I've been, and then to explain the impact that that's had on me and the lessons that I've learned coming out of this experience. At any rate, I should have, I have a couple of clients lined up from now till the end of the week. So we're about to get back in and get rolling again. But anyway, I wanted to just drop a little bit of mindset, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. And here we are midweek. We're approaching the end of the week. Also, just with everything like that and observing my mindset and everything like that, I have neglected to do a post-mortem of basically 2 weeks now. So I need to do a couple of videos going through week 4 and 5, I believe, so that we can analyze that and see how we did. But at any rate, watch out for those videos. They'll be coming soon. And you beautiful people, have a wonderful day. Daniel with Phoenix Solutions.